Welcome into the Rant, everybody. It is halftime, or nearly halftime. When it's 42-7, we can take it a couple of seconds early.
It's halftime.
Welcome in. Cade McFarland alongside Christine Moore. I got to tell you, I am really glad Chris is here and not my old partner, Big Al Jerkins. Because if the Dallas Cowboys put up 42 points and a half, he is not in a good mood. Whoa, and his Giants went down to your Eagles today, so
I'm glad I'm not with him either.
Double whammy for my guy, Big Al. Hopefully
Giants.
He's watching, Big Al. If so, hey there.
Hope you're watching.
What a
Glad you're
day in the
not yelling at
NFL.
me.
Joe Burrow, 525 yards, and now we get Burrow versus Mahomes next week. Things are getting good in the NFL. But this is the Rant, sponsored by the Tulsa Oilers. And Chris, our Oilers have snapped the streak.
They're winners. They took a little break
today
for Christmas, snapped a 4-game losing streak, winning 4-3 in Wichita. Back at it tomorrow night. They are 11-9-1 right now, about 12 points off the Mountain Division lead, but they have 5 fewer games played than the Utah Grizzlies up at the top of the Mountain Division. So points right now, it's like I like to say it's like a sailing race. You can look like you're in the lead, but there's someone with a better line. So Tulsa wins those 5 games to make it back up, and they're right in the middle of this thing, and it's a long season. So we got a 6-game road stand right now, back at home, I want to say on the 8th of January. You can go see your Tulsa Oilers.
I talked to head coach Rob Murray here at the station. They were here ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. I do hope that all of you had a Merry Christmas. Just best day of the year, right?
How was your trip?
I got kids
How was
that
your
are
trip?
6
You
and
got to
3.
go see the family?
Chris, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
My kid played Legos all day long. I barely had to parent the kid, which is no, I'm kidding. But anyway, talked to Rob Murray. This big road trip was coming up, and he was concerned about COVID and Omicron and, you know what I mean, the cases we're seeing. And now we have reason to be concerned in the college football world. 2 more bowl games, or was it 3 more bowl games
2
canceled
more, yeah.
today?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about this other than whatever the protocols are, I hope they're brought up to date.
Yeah.
I hope that we're thinking about asymptomatic positive tests the right way. I don't want to, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to delve into that and say what we should or shouldn't think with regard to this. And I just hope we can play the Fiesta Bowl and the Alamo Bowl this week with our teams, and we can get the playoff games in and just get as many bowl games in as possible, because it concerns you when teams start dropping like they did over the course of the last 4 or 5 days.
It's interesting. So today, you had the Fenway Bowl, Military Bowl, as you see at the bottom of your screen there. Both canceled. Boston College, 40 guys on their team, either injuries, transfer, COVID, what have you. But 40 guys were unavailable. Virginia couldn't make the trip either. They were unavailable. By the way, 2 American teams getting screwed over basically in those games, SMU and ECU. So that was tough. And then you have Miami that dropped out just an hour ago. So fingers crossed. I mean, we're making the trips. You know, I'm going down to San Antonio. You're going out to Arizona. We're making the trips. We want to see some football. It's tough, but I will say this. An interesting thing that came, I'm talking about the science here, that the doctors in the NFL did say was that the asymptomatic players who tested positive for COVID-19 did not seem to be the spreaders. So when you're talking about the spreaders, it was the guys who had symptoms, probably often the non-vaccinated guys, but there hasn't been a connection to that yet. But it was the asymptomatic guys that weren't spreading it. So when you talk about bringing it up to protocol or whatever you want to do, you have to keep that in mind. Absolutely consider that. So it's a lot to happen in a short amount of time, but we got to get something figured out, because this is nuts.
Well, the Alamo Bowl is coming upon us quickly. You're leaving for San Antonio tomorrow. Let's talk about Oklahoma versus Oregon with Bob Stoops looking for career win number 191 Wednesday.
So excited. And you know what? Bob Stoops looking for a win against Oregon.
That's right.
For the first time since
for revenge against Oregon.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have to kick an onside kick in this game. I think he might lose his mind.
Let's hope it doesn't come down to that, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I want to ask you about this, and then I'll tell you about what Bob Stoops has been talking about this week. Where do you think the excitement level, the energy level is in this game? Because you've been around this team, you've been around this program, you've been around bowl games like this situation before.
Yeah.
How do you think the energy level is going to be like in this game?
Well, something south of a playoff game, if I had to guess. You hope that these guys take this thing seriously and put forth maximum effort. But, man, I'd be lying if I say you look at the coaching staffs and what's not there, and you look at the rosters and what's not there. And how about this? The fact that for the University of Oklahoma, a loss in this ball game, I don't want to say it means nothing. It means something. But it doesn't mean much, because the Brent Venables era begins next year. And everything about that begins being judged, then this is very much a one-off, and Bob Stoops is at the center of everything that I find interesting about this ball game. I want to see what it's like to have him on the sideline again. I want to see how hard these kids play for him. I want to see him get win number 191. But a win is not going to make OU's season, and a loss isn't going to drastically change how we think about the 2021 Sooners either. This season already goes into the category of mostly a disappointment, and obviously the end of an era with Lincoln Riley off to USC. So I would be surprised if these guys come out and just play with their hair on fire like I expect to see from Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. But certainly hope I'm wrong. I would love to see these guys go out there and get a win for Bob. Just because, for me, that's what's interesting about this game.
I tell you what, a lot of OU fans, I'm sure, watching this might be traveling down to San Antonio. I hope I see you there. I hope they're as fired up as I am to cover this game, but I hope they're as fired up as the players will be on the field. I hope it's just an electric atmosphere. But something interesting that's happened this week, and we talked about this the other day on our Christmas Eve broadcast. When Bob Stoops was asked about the energy level of the team, he did not give the normal answer that, oh, the guys fired themselves up. His answer was, it's my job and it's the team leader's job to get the guys excited for this game. So almost as if to say he has a job to get these guys excited for this game.
He does, no doubt.
So, that's interesting. Does that mean that the guys aren't fired up? Does that mean he still takes it upon his shoulders to be the guy who fires them up? We'll have to see, but it leaves some question there of the excitement level of this team. And for good reason. I mean, you have 4 defensive starters, 3 of whom lead your team in tackles for loss, who have all opted out of this game. The team that fans are going to see, the names on the back of the jerseys that fans are going to see, are not the names they're used to calling out. So it's going to be, interesting. God bless the guys calling this game, because you're not going to be. We have no idea what the defensive line is going to look like.
I have very little in terms of analysis regarding this game at this point. But OU has Caleb Williams, who I think will be the best quarterback in this game without question, and Oregon does not. And so that's enough for me to say that I think OU probably wins this game. You got the spread at 4.5. I have no idea what to do with that or make of that. But as long as Caleb Williams is there, he's healthy, he's playing well. You know, I give the Sooners a slight edge. But that's about all I have to say. I'm interested. I said this on a podcast this week. I'm intrigued by this game. I really am, mostly because of Bob Stoops. I'm enthralled by the Fiesta Bowl. So let's go there now. That on New Year's Day, we have a top 10 matchup, number 5 Notre Dame, number 9 Oklahoma State. This would be one of the very biggest wins Mike Gundy has ever had, and it would cap off not the best season he's ever had, but you would certainly make a case for this being the second best season of the Mike Gundy era in 17 seasons in Stillwater. I am so fired up, for obvious reasons. I am a lifelong Notre Dame fan. So fired up to get to the desert and watch a matchup of 2 really fine defenses.
I tell you what, it is a defensive matchup. If you like old school football, this is the game for you.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen from the tape. I think this is an incredibly important game because you have a top 25 recruiting class coming in next season. You have a team that, and a quarterback that has tested well sometimes against good opponents, and tested poorly, and tested poorly against elite defenses. And you were talking about this as well. But the thing I want to ask you about, because you know so much about Notre Dame and you're so in tune, much more than I or many of our fans, I'm sure, watching are.
My wife wishes I were.
Right? Brian Kelly, obviously not going to be on the Notre Dame sideline, but the legacy that he leaves is still there in the players. What kind of roster and what kind of legacy has Brian Kelly left in this team, and how are we going to see that in this game in Arizona?
It's a good squad. I mean, they're the Alabamas, Ohio States, and Georgias at the very top of college football. And then Notre Dame is now in that second tier. And that was not the case for a good 2 decades. He built that thing. And, you know, it all turned around in 2016. Notre Dame went 4-8 with 7 one-score losses. He got a new strength and conditioning coach and really went about changing the culture of that program. And that's where I think there are some parallels. This Notre Dame team, where it stands now, and the Oklahoma State program. Strength and conditioning has been the bedrock for Mike Gundy. Rob Glass is, I would say, after Gundy, the most important person in that program year in, year out. Oklahoma State does more with less. They bring guys in who are 3 stars, and by the time they leave, they look like 4 and 5 stars. It starts with strength and conditioning, but that cowboy culture that Gundy talks about so much, it really does parallel what Notre Dame has done in rebuilding. It's since that 2016 season where they went 4-8 They've gone 44-6 since. And so Notre Dame, and they do have more NFL level guys than Oklahoma State. They've got more 4- and 5-star type kids. Not many 5-stars, but more 4-star athletes than Oklahoma State does. But much like Oklahoma State sort of plays above those stars, Notre Dame has done the same in recent years. And so these are two teams where mentally, like, they're going to be there. You know, like, there's not going to be an off day. One of these teams is going to win. Somebody's going to lose. But I think both teams will play well. They're going to play hard. They're going to play smart. I think these two programs, even though very different in terms of how they go about trying to do things and geographically not in the same area, they do play the game of football in much the same way. It starts with being tough. It starts with being smart. And making the most of the talent you have. So I really am looking forward to, Notre Dame is missing two surefire NFL guys. One of them a top 10 pick, and Kyle Hamilton, the safety. And the other, Kyron Williams, a running back. Who knows where running backs may end up going in the draft, but he is about as good as there is. Yeah. And you might give Oklahoma State a slight edge based on those two absences. At some point, you start missing that kind of talent.
It's a 1.5 point line. So
yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's basically a pick 'em. Yeah. And Oklahoma State's defense is so good at getting after the quarterback, lead the nation in sacks. And as good as Jack Cohn has been at quarterback for Notre Dame this year, he is not good at avoiding the rush. And I wonder if Notre Dame would be able to play better in a lot of areas, but Oklahoma State can just push on that one strength they have over and over and kill some otherwise promising Irish drives and come out with. To me, I would be stunned outside of defensive scores or special team scores if this game isn't played in the 20s, maybe even the teens. For one of these teams. I think the defenses are both fantastic.
Kind of
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I tell you what, and this is the final thing I'll say on the matter because it's such a tight game. There's so many things you can talk about. I really liked your point about it's going to be about how Spencer Sanders rises to the occasion. It absolutely is. I think if you get Jalen Warren back, you get your hard-nosed offense back, you can establish the run a little bit, and we will absolutely see.
I'm looking forward to hearing about the practice reports and how Jalen Warren looks, and because I think he is key. But sorry,
yeah, no, absolutely.
On Spencer Sanders.
No, I actually was talking with some good friends of mine who are all Cowboy fans, and they said in these big games, I mean, they're kind of the worn-down Cowboy fans where they're like, man, we don't expect much in big games, but now they're starting to learn to puff out their chest a little bit. But they say, man, we'll see which Spencer Sanders shows up. And I think if Notre Dame kind of assumes that he's not going to play well, I think he can rise to the occasion. You got to put up, if you put up 28 points in this game, you win.
Almost certainly.
Almost certainly. I think if you put up 21, you give your team a good chance to get there. They just have to get to the third quarter in good shape because they're not going to score in the third quarter. They don't score in the third quarter, but they don't give up touchdowns in the second half. So if you get to the third quarter in good shape, I think you could put one or two on them in the fourth, and you're set. It's crazy how it is an absolutely fun matchup. I'm so excited for this game. I'm excited I'll get to watch it. I'm envious of you to be there on the sideline. I know you're going to be smiling. I can't wait to see pictures of you on the sideline smiling behind the camera.
I'm looking forward to it.
Blast.
Yeah, I said on our Christmas Day show, I think Spencer Sanders needs to play well for Oklahoma State to win. If he doesn't play well, it's hard to imagine how they can win. His record against top 20 defenses, according to the SP Plus, is 4-4. But he's thrown 6 touchdowns and 13 interceptions in those ball games. He absolutely needs to avoid turnovers. And I just have a feeling he will. Coming off a 4-interception game against Baylor, I just feel like he bounces back and plays relatively well in this ball game. We know what's at stake for Oklahoma State. This would cap off only the second 12-win season in program history. That's huge. It would be a win over a top 5 team. As great as Gundy's been and as many top 25 wins as he has, wins over top 5 teams, they don't come along very often, and it would be a win over, unquestionably, one of college football's blue bloods.
And there is a lot against Notre Dame.
That's right. There is a lot at stake. But I wonder if people here maybe don't understand quite what's at stake for Notre Dame.
Okay.
This would be their first major bowl win. So we're talking about the biggest of the bowls: Sugar, Rose, Fiesta, Orange, and the like peach. This would be their first since Rudy, the movie, was in theaters. Back in 1993, they've lost 9 in a row, and they see this because they've had to deal with Alabama twice. They've had to deal with Ohio State in games like that twice. They see this as as their very best opportunity. Now, in 2.5 decades to win a game like this. And
First
so
time in
that's
my
no
lifetime to win
offense
a
to
New Year's
Oklahoma
Six.
State
Yeah.
fans, but they're breathing a sigh of relief that it's not Bama or Ohio State on the other side.
Or
And
Georgia
you know,
this
and
year.
Marcus Freeman, the new head coach, now comes in with so much in terms of optimism and the positive vibes, and it just they start next season with Ohio State. Pretty big difference. It being 1-0 is your career record with a win over a top 10 team versus 0-1, and now having to go to Columbus. So it's a big game for Notre Dame as well. I don't give the motivation edge to either side. I give Oklahoma State an edge because Notre Dame's without a couple of NFL guys, but I don't give the motivation edge to either side. All right, let's wrap up with, gosh, it feels like this was a long time ago because the holiday
Doesn't
week.
it?
But
when you told me we were going to talk about this, I was like, didn't we already cover this? No, we didn't.
TU
We didn't.
30, Old Dominion 17. They were your Myrtle Beach Bowl champions. Coach Montgomery had the crazy eyes going in the celebration. This team likes to get out and turn up you, right? Is that what that's what they call
love this
themselves
so
now?
much.
We got the Gatorade bath for Coach Monty.
They
gave up
the
a
guys post-game.
touchdown on the opening kickoff. Nobody in college football has given up more kickoff return touchdowns than your Tulsa Golden Hurricane, but they proceeded to dominate ODU the rest of the way. It was a fine performance and a great way to finish the season with the 4th straight win.
The guy right there says it all, Shamari Brooks. I love what he was able to do. I love that
Yep.
he was able to move up on the all-time list. I love that he was able to get his second career 1,000-yard season. I like that he was able to get into the end zone. I mean, and I love what Coach Monty said after the game. Just the highest of praise for Shamari Brooks. And I'm just so happy for him, so happy for JJ. He's going into the NFL draft now, foregoing his final season of eligibility and going into the draft. And so it was a great send-off for the guys. It was exactly the send-off that we wanted to see for those guys. And, I mean, this was just beautiful. This was obviously at Senior Day, but Cannon and Coach Monty and their final game together, getting to win a trophy together, it was a beautiful thing. I saw an interview where both of them were crying, talking about it. So it was perfect. It was a perfect way to end the season that began with such dismay that we had no idea what was going to happen. You end on a 4-game winning streak. You play your lights out basically in the last 3 of them, and you end on a winning record with a big trophy. I mean, that's an impressive trophy. It is the perfect way to end this season, and I am so happy for this team and it's going to be a coaching staff that's going to be completely different next season, but I am so happy for this team that they were able to win it the way they did.
The ifs and buts, candy and nuts thing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
no TU fans want to hear this, and, you know, the fans who aren't TU fans don't want to hear this either, but if you handle your business in the opener against UC Davis, and by the way, according to Bill Conley, SP Plus, and what he calls, I believe, I can't remember what it's called, but basically there was about looking at all the statistics after the game, the TU UC Davis game to start the year, it was like a 99.9% chance that TU would win based on everything that went on. And, you know, the 0.1% chance that it would go the other way, it went. So anyway, if they had taken care of business there, if they hadn't gotten into a brawl in the bowl game 1 year ago and weren't missing several guys in that ball game, if you win that one, and if you beat a Navy team that wasn't very good at all, and if Josh Johnson, if he catches a touchdown in the end zone in the third quarter of that game, very likely we're talking about a 9-win Tulsa team with close losses to Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and playoff-bound Cincinnati. It would be one of the great seasons in the modern era of Tulsa football. And, I mean, we're talking about since World War II. A 9-win season against that schedule, playing the big boys as tough as they did. It would be one of the great teams, one of the most fondly remembered teams. And obviously, we've detailed it on this show. They squandered that because of so many return touchdowns, so many needless penalties, on and on and on. And so my point here is this. Over the last 4 games this year, they did give a glimpse of what they really could be, what their ceiling is, and TU fans should feel good about that. There are a lot of guys leaving, key players, but there are a lot of guys coming back as well. And Coach Montgomery has done a very fine job of recruiting the kind of athletes that can compete in this conference. He inherited a team that you couldn't say that about. They've recruited really, really well, and they can go toe-to-toe with some of the best. We're looking at, a highlight from the SMU win. And as, Cincinnati and UCF and Houston leave this conference, TU's positioned to really mix it up with some of the best. There's no way that Philip Montgomery thought when he showed up here 7 years ago that he was going to do this job for 7 years. But he has now become one of the most tenured coaches in Tulsa football history. I think, at this point, he's got to be one of the most invested individuals that Tulsa football has ever had. And I wonder, because, I don't know of any offers coming his way at this moment, what he plans for the future. And I wonder if he isn't leaning into this, embracing it maybe in a way that he hadn't early in his tenure. And I'm talking about the long-term prospects of being here at TU. He's built something. He's built a foundation. He's got to now replace Joe Gillespie. That ain't easy. No, Carlton Buckles is following him to TCU. Yep. It gets more difficult as time goes on to, hire great assistant coaches when you're stretched thin with regard to, the guys that you're connected to or have a history with in terms of coaches to bring on staff. But he's brought in so much talent. And with those guys at the very top leaving this league, they're in position to mix it up with the best in this conference for years to come. And it's just interesting to me because at TU, you're always expecting the coach to either have success and get picked off or have, no success and be blown out. And Philip Montgomery's fallen into the middle somewhere. And he could end up being one of the winningest coaches that TU football's ever had, one of the most meaningful at 11th and Harvard. I'm not sure he expected that. But I would love to see him here for another 3 or 4 years and see where this thing goes because I expect them to be a handful for people next year with Davis Brin coming back through 16 interceptions this year. But so much of that was first-year starter. Yep. We saw the talent coming down the stretch. He's a guy who, he can make all the throws. They're going to have to be active in the transfer portal, and some of the guys that they're bringing in are going to have to be ready to go right away. But I expect this team to win more than 7 games next year. The talent is certainly there. They've got to be more of a button-up operation. You can't shoot yourself in the foot near as much. But the talent is there for TU football to be pretty good going forward. I think that's pretty exciting.
I want to think about this, too. Who's leaving the conference next season? Coming up next season to go to the Big 12. We got a couple teams leaving.
Yeah, that's right. Cincinnati, UCF. You get those guys out.
The space at the top is open.
TU just keep,
the space at the top of the American is open for a team that took Cincinnati close twice, on the road twice. Shouldn't have been on the road last season. I will take that to my grave. That last season Cincinnati was scared to play TU at home. I will take that. I will forever be.
I said that on Twitter and
yeah. You know what? I'll say it on here. I'll keep saying it on here. Oh well. You got the top open. Just like Oklahoma State has in the Big 12, the space is going to be open at the top. Who's going to take it? TU has a chance to take it because
now it's not easy.
It's
SMU,
not easy.
Memphis, but I think they can mix it up with those guys.
You see what they did to SMU
absolutely.
this year. You see how they compete with Memphis. Like we've seen TU play the lights out of. They played the lights out of SMU after they kind of started playing their own ball. They can beat these guys easily if they can take Cincy to the ropes, and all these other teams can't. You got a team that can do fantastic things and a team that can win a conference championship the second those guys leave. You got a team that almost won the conference championship when they were there. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I love what you said about Philip Montgomery embracing what he can do, the legacy that he can build, because he didn't know that greatness was going to be thrust upon him.
This job,
but he has embraced it, and not everyone would do that.
In this job, you got to have head on a swivel. Nobody thinks 10-year plan. But he might just be here 10 years, which I think is pretty cool because I love the guy.
Oh, love him.
We're going to let you go, and we'll go see if the Dallas Cowboys can put 84 on Washington football team.
Who's got the
tonight? For Christy Maria, Caden McFarland, that was the Rant sponsored by the Tulsa Oilers. Get out of here, you knuckleheads.